Cobweb horror film out now in cinemas. Look, if you're having a hard time getting your seat, getting your reservation for Oppenheimer or Barbie or even Sound of Freedom, not Friedman. Friedman was a guy I went to college with. Went to his marriage, bought him a nice wedding gift, haven't seen him since. But anyway, good friend. Let's talk about this movie, Cobweb. It's a horror film. I liked it. I think if you're a horror fan, go see Cobweb. If you're not a horror fan, probably don't see it. It's not, the kills, or so to speak, are not terribly gruesome. I did like in this movie that there's like a 15 or 20 minute like suspenseful build. A lot of horror movies just go right into starting, characters getting killed, this, that, and the other. And you don't really have any type of emotional attachment to anything. This movie is kind of old school, like it builds up the terror. The people that were in the audience with me were god-awful. They were a terror themselves. People on their phones, people sitting in the wrong seats. A bunch of youngsters were in the theater and thought they were in the wrong theater, so they left, and then some of them came back. It was odd. It was weird. A guy in my row looked like he'd be a young kid. He was on his fucking phone. I didn't say a goddamn word to him. I just moved to the handicap row because there were no handicap people there. So shout out to my handicap friends. I took one of your seats because I had to go away from this fucking asshole on his phone. Okay? But I like the goddamn movie. So you might be saying, well, gee whiz, Mike, Cobweb, what could that possibly be about? Is there Charlotte's Web in this thing? What's going on? No, but there is a spider. I guess I gotta say spoilers, because I'm gonna spoil this fucker for you. So if you've already seen it, my buddy, Michael AJ has been asking me to do a review on this. He's been asking me to talk about Twitter becoming X. All these things, Michael AJ, you asked me to talk about all this stuff. I really have to do the research, and then the reality is when I say I'm going to do the research, I just typically do other shit before I do the research. Some other fine fellow on my One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan channel asked me to analyze the fight on Saturday night, and I got to do that one too. But anyway, as far as the Twitter becoming X, I don't know, buddy. I mean, I think your guess is as good as mine as far as that goes. I think it could lose some engagement with some Twitter people, but if people like the actual app and they like the experience of Twitter fucking, is the name change really going to kill it for them or not? And who knows, maybe Elon Musk has got some surprises in it for us, like maybe it'll be better. Who the hell knows? I don't know. I'm not too worried. To be honest with you, I'm a reluctant social media-iter. At one point in my life, I took 6 months off from Facebook, and I felt really good about it. But unfortunately, if you're like myself, a writer, an actor, a screenwriter, all these wonderful things that I do, you have to kind of use a social media platform to get your name out there. So whatever the fuck. But anyway, going back to Cobweb. So we have all the good elements of a good horror film. We have the weird kid, like the bullied kid. We have the abusive parents. And we have like the creepy mystery monster in the wall, okay? And I thought it was very unique in a lot of ways. Like I think this movie is kind of begging for a sequel or an origin story. Probably more like an origin story, because unless I missed something, and maybe I did, somehow these evil parents, spoiler, gave birth to a fucking spider child, and not like Spider-Man, like a good Spider-Man, but like a weird, nasty kind of spider. And she has been put in the wall. And she talks to her younger brother. And it's kind of like, is this really happening? Like, what the fuck? But like, I kind of got into it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I think the cool thing with horror is that sometimes you just can take a jump of, belief or disbelief. You don't have to have everything be like fucking normal, like a biopic. I just saw Gran Turismo. I did a review on that. You can see, yes, I saw it early. But this thing, Cobweb, I mean, it's like, yeah, I can kind of go along with this shit. But same thing with like Freddy Krueger. Okay, Freddy, okay, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, all these iconic weirdos The big thing last summer was Megan, and I don't know if maybe that was last fall, like that was like kind of a September, October deal. So is this movie, like as going to be as big as that? I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple of more Cobweb movies. Like I said, an origin story seems to be necessary, in my opinion, or that's kind of where I would go. If I was in Seth Rogen's ear, I've been noticing his name a lot, buddy. Seth, put me in one of your goddamn PGA movies. But I see a origin story, in my opinion, would be a good next step for this thing, as opposed to just Cobweb 2, because I feel like there was some loose ends, cobweb ends, left in this movie. Like, we didn't really know what the fuck was going on. I did like the teacher, the substitute teacher. She fills out a sweater pretty nicely, and she's also a good character who shows some compassion for the young man, and so forth. I do like anytime you see a bully in the movie get what's coming to him. I fucking love that. And this little asshole bully, Brian, I think was his name, gets a broken leg. Good job, kid. Oh yeah, Peter, I am your sister, Peter. When I was leaving the theater, I was very close to start doing my fucking Cobweb impersonation. Peter, I'm in the wall, Peter. I'm your sister, Peter. Peter. But I just didn't. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I used to have more fun in public dealing with assholes, making people laugh for no reason. But as I've gotten older and the world's just gone to shit in a handbasket, I'm just more restrained with my comedy. I save it for you fucks on YouTube, because in reality, people are just, they got their heads up their ass, they got their fucking headphones on. I don't want to talk to them anymore. I don't want to deal with people in real life. I want to deal with you, the YouTube asshole universe. So consider yourselves lucky. And when I say asshole, it doesn't mean like I think you're an asshole. It's just a term of affection. Anyway, so the movie was good. Everyone loved it. If you're a horror fucking fan, go see it. If you're not, don't. Meanwhile, you can support me, one Mike Messier. Subscribe to this channel. Share all the videos. If you were saying, well, gee whiz, Mike, do you make your own films? Do you have an interview show of which you're the host? Yes. Man in a Camera Films, one Man in a Camera Films, one pro wrestling and sports fan. And I enjoyed Cobweb. I thought it was fun. I watched it. I probably won't see it again in the theater, but I'll see an origin story or a sequel if they make one. Go see Cobweb.